Hey there friends, fans, and collectors. Welcome to another episode of Binary Sunset Review. Today we're going to be taking a look at VC 283 Cad Bane. Let's get going.
I'd be careful where I was sticking my nose if I were you.
Now Cad Bane was a popular character and figure all throughout the Clone Wars, and I do believe he had some cameos in Rebels as well. I could be wrong, let me know. I'm rewatching it currently. But he also had his first live-action appearance in the Book of Boba Fett, which was quite the meh show except for the appearance of this character, honestly. It really just was a great introduction of a character that we had known for years, but first time seeing in live action and first time seeing in the post-Empire galaxy.
Here we have the front of the packaging for Cad Bane. We can see the Book of Boba Fett there in the Star Wars silver piping. In the pillbox there, we have his name. We have this nice red shade that accents the pretty dark tones to the rest of the figure. And we have a great image of the live-action Cad Bane in his appearance on Book of Boba Fett. This was a long-awaited live-action appearance, and he certainly did make a bang on screen when he showed up. Here we have the back of the package. We see the Star Wars silver piping there around this most recent release, which is Cad Bane, Nien Nunb, Boba Fett, and Moff Gerrard, as well as the list of Jabba's Palace repacks that we saw with the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, and the Jabba's Throne Room that we recently got. We have all the rest of the legalese and logos, and we can see the VC number there, which is 283, as well as the Disney and Hasbro logos down in the bottom right. Let's break this guy free of his bubble though. Here we have first impressions of Cad Bane out of the box. And it has taken a long time for this vintage collection figure to come to our hands, but I will say I'm grateful to have him because man, this is quite the character in Star Wars lore, and it's really great that he's finally added to our collection. The painting and detailing for this figure is truly amazing. His leather jacket looks great. I'm glad that it has the kind of like firm rubbering to it and not the actual soft goods. It wouldn't look good in this case. He has these brilliant pistol accessories that we saw in the live action. He doesn't have his dinky, goofy rocket boots, which we saw in the show. He has these awesome kind of ammo-tipped bandolier boots. And, oh man, just looking fabulous. Another sweet design. I'll go over it in accessories, but his hat, which I would have been happily if it were just placed on his head, it is 100% removable, and so we can really get his crazy little alien dome looking right there. And all those tubes that help him breathe. Super neat. This certainly is quite the figure. To add to our collection. He has this great dual stance, and now all we need is a cop vamp figure he can duel with. We've only needed this for a year and a half now. Here we have Cad Bane's accessories. He has his nice removable hat, as I mentioned before. He has his unique blaster pistols, which are these, like, variations of scoped revolvers that just fit his persona very, very nice. His coat is also removable. I didn't go through the trouble of doing this because I just like the way that the plastic folded coming out of the box, but with some work and some care, you can remove that jacket as well. But this is also a great shot. We get a nice detailing of some of the painting of his gauntlets. Now he has these non-Mandalorian gauntlets, but weaponized gauntlets that have a flamethrower in them, detonators, all kinds of jazz. And we can see that living up to the vintage collection, we do get this beautiful painting and detailing onto his weaponized gauntlets, as well as the glow and the glitter of, look at that, just metallicized bullet rounds or caster shell rounds that are on his belt there. Very neat. This figure comes standard with the 17 points of articulation that we are now happy to see with most vintage collection figures. This starts with, of course, the ball-jointed top neck, 2 ball joints in his lower neck. We have 2 ball-jointed shoulders, 2 ball-jointed elbows. We have our ball-jointed waist, 2 ball-jointed hips, swivel thighs, 2 ball-jointed knees, and 2 ball-jointed ankles. These ankles do have the ball joint that lets them rocker ankle, so he can really get his leg out there and pose very, very well with this articulation.
Now, Cad Bane is part of the 5th wave of 2023 vintage collection figures. As I mentioned, he's VC 283, We're getting close to our 300th figure, and this is a long-awaited figure known throughout the Clone Wars, bits of Rebels, and of course seen in live action in the Book of Boba Fett a year and a half ago. Now this figure is long time to our collection, never seen on the Vintage Collection before, and he's a great addition. Now the pros for this figure just go on and on. He's a long-awaited Star Wars character that's been in many different shows across a lot of different timelines. It's great to see Cad Bane in live action, and it's even nicer to welcome him to the Vintage Collection. Now the detail in the painting is really done on his jacket, his gauntlets. One of the cons, the weapons are just the base plastic with all the detail that goes into his other accessories. It would have been nice to have them be painted blasters. The other con, the only con I would have to say that goes with this, is it's been over a year and a half since we saw Cad Bane in live action on the Book of Boba Fett. And so once again, the timeline for these figures has us waiting a little bit too long for them, and we don't even have Cobb Vanth, his dueling partner, yet on the Vintage Collection at all. So it'd be nice to see these two, it'd be nice to see a little bit of a closer timeline, but once again, really great to have these figures finally added to our collection. It's also nice that as we see all these repacks of the 40th anniversary for Return of the Jedi, which I'm happy to see on shelves, it's great that we are getting new figures as well in these waves. This figure's been a fan favorite for a long time. I would certainly recommend him. It's nice that we get him in the live action Vintage Collection figure versus the stylized, animated Clone Wars figures we've been seeing for years. Thanks for watching another episode of Binary Sunset Review. As always, I've been Mike. Your likes and your views are greatly appreciated. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this figure, where you think the direction the Vintage Collection is going, and just how you've been enjoying these new figures versus the 40th anniversary repacks. I love hearing your comments. I hope your fall is treating you well. Stay safe, stay sane, and remember, the Force will be with you, always.
I'm just a simple man trying